Welcome back. My name is Jeff, and this is Wordfully Yours. So I've been going through books in my local library in certain genres, either horror or sci-fi, just so I don't only read the books that are recommended to me so that I don't miss out on anything. It's worked for me in the past. I'm still going. So I got to read Swashbucklers by Dan Hanks. Okay. It starts off with the going back home trope. Guy and his kid goes back home for, I actually forget the reason, but he goes back home. It's during Christmas time. I think somebody died. Jesus. So I think somebody died. They go back home, him and his kid. He goes to this restaurant. He meets one of his childhood friends. It's this lady. She invites him to, he was originally planning on staying at a hotel. She invites him to stay at her house. Not for that. And it turns out to be dripping with 80s nostalgia, with nostalgia for the youth, with nostalgia for the 80s. It references video games and movies and books and what people did in high school and the people they dated and the friends they had. And oh my God. So much nostalgia. It will suffocate you. It felt like it was trying to be Ready Player One, only not sci-fi. It was actually urban fantasy, it turns out. So this guy, this main character, the guy who is now a grown-up with his own kid, is staying in his room at night, and this fox comes to his bedroom window and tells them about the monsters that he forgot that he fought as a kid. It actually starts out with this monster fight thing, and this fox comes to his bedroom, this is later on in the book. Fox comes to his bedroom and he reminds him of all the monster that he fought as a kid, and he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't remember any of it. He thought it was actually a gas leak, and not a monster when he was a kid. And it feels very much like, you remember the Alice in Wonderland, not exactly remake, but the Alice in Wonderland movie that Disney did when Alice was grown up, and she gets that butterfly that comes to her window, or at least I think that's what happened in the movie. Or the movie with the Peter Pan movie with Robin Williams, where Robin Williams thought that the whole Peter Pan thing when he was a kid was a dream, and finds out that it wasn't. It's that trope. Not that I'm knocking the trope. It's a decent trope, but that's where it goes. So, but instead of being very kid-like, you would think it's like a chance to be a kid again, which it is, but it's also very grown-up. There's a lot of violence and gore. There's a rampaging Santa that steps on people. There's a penguin that attacks a guy and shoves stuff down his throat, and it's very bloody. It's very gory. It is very adult. So in a way, the book is very much being a kid again, but if you got to be a kid as a grown-up. I couldn't actually finish the book. I had to DNF it halfway through. It was just too much for me. It was so much nostalgia. Like, the most unbelievable thing in the book was not the rampaging demon filled Santa, or the evil penguins, or the talking fox. The most believable thing in the book was when the main character comes downstairs. When he's staying in the house, when the main character comes downstairs and he goes into the living room, he finds every teenager in the house engrossed in a book. He says not reading, not watching TV, not playing video games, not on their phones and tablets, but reading books the way it used to be. No. No. Back in the 80s, we were all glued to our TV sets and playing our Atari 2600s. We were not reading books. We were not reading books. Saying that the way it used to be was so, no, it's so the most unbelievable part of the book. Not the rampaging demon Santa. but the teenage is reading books. At least that's the way it was when I was in the 80s. So I just, it was just, so you could, I suffocated on the nostalgia so much that I had to DNF it halfway through. But that's me. You may like it. I looked it up. Goodreads gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now, keep in mind, this the Goodreads ratings aren't a team of educated reading people who are judging the book on its literary merits. It's whether or not people liked it. Exactly like what I'm doing right now. So the Goodreads score is got a 3.5 out of so many ratings, whatever. So you may like it. Don't listen to me. I'm just some guy on the internet. So until next time, may your library be well funded and fully stocked, and I'll see you next time.